Good evening. I want to welcome everybody to the March 18th, 2019 meeting of the Jersey Village City Council. Madam Secretary, quorum is present.
Yes.
Very good. Moving to item B, invocation and pledge of allegiance. Pledge and prayer by Frank Marr, Assistant Chief. Frank?
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let's just take a little time to relax and wind down from all that we've been doing today. Let both our mind, soul, and body relax. As we go through this meeting tonight, guide and lead our council to make good decisions. Let council listen with open hearts and minds to our citizens with their concerns. Lord, we ask you to bless all of our military members and to keep them safe. Lord, we ask you to bless all of our staff, employees, and volunteers who work to keep our city looking better and a safe place to live. Lord, we ask you to bless and keep all of our teachers and students safe as they return from their spring break and return to school. Lord, we ask for a special blessing for all those people in Deer Park and Pasadena as they go through this fire down there. Lord, last but not least, teach us to show respect and become good listeners. We ask this prayers in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Frank. Citizen comments. Citizens who signed a card and wish to speak to the City Council be heard at this time in compliance with the Texas and Open Meetings Act. Unless the subject matter of the comment is on the agenda, the City staff and City Council members are prevented from discussing the subject and may respond only with statements of factual information or existing policy. Citizens are limited to 5 minutes for their comments to City Council. First card I have is Michael Stembridge.
Michael Stembridge, 15422 Jersey Drive. First, I'd just like to say this is a phenomenal night. Congratulations on your Jersey Crossing deal. And I just want to say my wife and I and my family fully support that. We always have. I think it's going to make the city revenue. I think it's a constructive, forward-thinking business effort. I think possibly it could defray residential taxes one day, maybe not tomorrow, but it's on the path, and we're very excited. We're very excited about that. Bravo, you did a great victory there. Awesome. And I want to congratulate the City Council, the mayor, the city, Mr. Blees, on the FEMA grant that was accepted for $3.5 million for 18 home elevations. That gives us a lot of hope. You did it. It went through. Awesome. My wife and my child, my wife doesn't swim. My child has trouble swimming. And we hold out, but we have hope today because we think that the flood maps might be redrawn. We think there may be more home elevations or possibly redos in coming FYs. So we're remaining optimistic as Jersey Village flood victims. So we have a lot of hope and faith right now in the city and where it's going, in the county also, state, whatever. Also, I just want to say that I find it odd that, I could come up here right now and I could basically say anything to a city council member, about a city council member, and I know it's got to do with the charter, it's got to do with something with city law, but you guys can't respond back. Now, I played football, and to me, just to play devil's advocate, that doesn't seem like fair play. Now, there's the First Amendment. The residents must have our First Amendment speech, free speech. But I would just put this out there about, Mayor Ray, you had question and answer session one time, and we've also had, open houses and stuff. And maybe we could rotate, maybe we could try an experimental city council session where you guys could actually respond back and answer questions or respond to people's statements. It might be a charter change. I don't know if the residents want to go that far, but, and then in executive session, it's vice versa. It's only the city talks, or the city personnel. So could we do something experimental there, or is that an idea just to ponder, to where you guys could actually answer a resident back, or, because I could come up here and I could say Mars is purple, but it's not, and that's ridiculous. But would the city leaders ever have the chance to answer residents back, or maybe a rotating council session or something like that? Because I feel like that, sometimes people can say anything, but then a council member might not have the ability to answer back. And to me, maybe that's not fair play. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Marilee Beasley.
I guess the limitation on speaking back is related to state law, the Open Meetings Act, which precludes a discussion by City Council unless the item is posted in advance.
Thank you, Scott. Marilee.
All right. Hi, I'm Marilee Beasley. I live at 14910 Lakeview Drive, and I want to thank 3 police officers. Recently, they saw me. They thought things didn't look quite right. One of them, I think, thought something was wrong for me, and so she kind of looked, paused. It was our police officer that's female, who is Anglo, and then another, and she realized I waved, I'm okay. Then another gentleman, I think his name is Mike DeVille. Anyway, he stopped, and I see him at church on Sundays guarding in the parking lot, and he's like looking at me. And then another police officer who's female, and I don't know her last name, she stopped to check out, and what it was is I was picking up pine cones. So everybody was satisfied, and I just wanted you to know I want to thank them for that. So there's several things that I want to address tonight. One of them is the red light camera reinstallation. And my understanding is there's a good possibility that Governor Abbott is going to ban those statewide. And I have done some research today, found several articles that discuss how unsafe they are, and they ban them in many cities across the United States. So I have some articles about that. So I would really want to stress that that might be something you want to look at. I've been reading the contract, trying to find out some other data about Jersey Village, because I think what happens is people want to stop, but then there's a rear end collision, or could be, could happen. So anyway, just, precautionary about that. I also understand that Jersey Village was granted I think it's 3.3 money from FEMA, and for 18 elevations. I'm a little concerned about that because somebody did a calculation looking at if we did 18 a year. I'm almost 70 years old. I'll be 82 when all 238 structures will be completed. And in the meantime, I think there's 2 easier solutions that are cheaper. One is flood-proofing your home, which one of our homeowners has been working on. And another one is to buy everybody one of those inflatable moats, which has been shown in a flood recently. And I believe to work, and I believe those are about $9,000, although I don't know how large they are. So those are things that I think ought to be considered instead of these very expensive elevations. So that's just something to, to consider. Another thing that I brought along was some information about property taxes. I'm very concerned about how high our property taxes are in Jersey Village. And if you look at the flyer that is with that, you'll see there's some information about some comparisons about property taxes, and ours are very, very high. So one of the things I want to say is I came to that special meeting, I think it was 2 Mondays ago. It was held at 5:30, which is very hard for people to get home to in time from work, because a lot of people aren't even home from work. I think in the future it'll be very helpful for you to to schedule that meeting at 7 when more people can come. The other thing that I think is difficult and would be helpful is that meeting, I came, about 19 people were here. The meeting was called to order at 5:30. At 5:30, everybody went into the executive session, and we sat here not knowing quite when you would come out. So we didn't know whether we should order pizza, go home and eat, and come back. As it turned out, my husband was late, and he still was in time, because I think you were behind those doors for about 1 hour. So I think it would be very helpful in the future for you to schedule those special meetings at 7 when more people can come, because a lot of people were interested. I think 19 people to show up on an evening at 5:30 when most people aren't home from work is a large number. Anyway, just to let you know, thank you.
Next card I have is Curtis Haverty.
I'm Curtis Haverty, resident 29 years, live at 15405 Ashburton. About 15 years ago, the council, Greg might have been there, it came to the conclusion that the residential section of the city could not raise enough property taxes to maintain the infrastructure and do the repairs that we needed. So they annexed several parcels, some across 290, some on this side of 290. And Isabel has created a profit and loss statement for that. And the last time I looked, those parcels have netted over $21 million in our coffers. And that's the money that we have been doing our flood repairs, street repairs. And you can imagine the position you'd be in if you didn't have $21 million. That was subtracted. About 10 years ago, when I sat on the other side of this microphone, the second phase of this, trying to find property in Jersey Village that was undeveloped, that could render more taxable income, property taxable income, than just strip centers and grocery store, 7-Eleven and that sort of thing. And so the Jersey Crossing came about. And there were a lot of citizens at that time that were very, very against it. Why are you spending this money on this? You know, we don't need this, et cetera. But it was a very exciting time, and the council persevered and came up with form-based codes, of which you all know what's about. It has been a really long, tough situation. Both of our managers have had people come to want to put in gas stations and cigarette shops and parking lots and things that would not benefit us, like a higher density, higher tax value that would help us, and until now. And you guys really, you thought ahead. 3 to 5 years from now, you're going to look back and go, I am proud to be on this council because I did something good for Jersey Village. And I think tonight we're going to see that you did some things that had a minor amount of risk. I think you weighed it all. But, you know, I just want to say thank you for the good job you've been doing. And that 3 to 5 years from now, when you look back, I think you'll say, yes, you know, I really did have Jersey Village best interest in heart when I was doing that. And I just want to say thank you, every one of you, for all the good work you've been doing.
Thank you, Curtis. That's the last card I have. We'll move directly into the city manager's report. Do you have any comments or questions for City Manager Austin Blease?
Mayor and councilors, we do have the manager's report in front of you tonight. As has been mentioned by a few citizens already, we did just receive the notification that we received $3.35 million to elevate the 18 homes. That is for the homes that we applied for back in August, or September, sorry, of 2017. So it's been a long time coming. We were notified last March that we were identified for further review, and we've been reviewed and been approved.
All right, any questions for Austin? All right, thanks, Austin. We'll move directly into the consent agenda. Does any member of council wish to remove an item from the consent agenda and place it on the regular agenda? Seeing none, looking for a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
There's been a motion and second. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, opposed, any abstentions, motion carries. The next item on the agenda is to recess the regular agenda to move into executive session. We're going to move past that one. We're going to move actually into the regular session at this time. Item 1, consider resolution number 2019-10, reviewing and accepting the 2018 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, the CAFR. Isabel Cato, Finance Director.
Yes, Mayor, I'm proud to present our CAFR for September 30, 2018. And with us is Robert Belt from Bell Harris Peshasik, and he's here to answer questions and make the presentation.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here to present the results of the audit. Over on page 13 is our independent auditor's report. Very pleased to announce it's an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance we can provide to City Council, that all the disclosures required by generally accepted accounting principles have been included and the financial statements are materially correct. There's a tremendous amount of financial information within the report. I'm just going to go over a few highlights with you. Typically, one of the pages I don't present is page 29. This is a statement of net position. This is basically a snapshot of financial condition of the city for the entire operations on the full accrual base of accounting. And because it's on the full accrual base of accounting, we don't typically go over it. But there's one particular item I was wanting to bring to your attention. You're going to hear a lot of discussion this legislative cycle about, and also with the City of Houston, regard to other post-employee benefits. That's health insurance and things of that nature, or supplemental death benefits that are provided to retirees. This year, the Governmental Accounting Standards Board required us to go out and calculate what that liability is and then bring it on the balance sheet. So all governments across the United States were required to do this. When the City of Houston does this, they have a very large liability out there. So you're going to hear a lot of discussions about the City of Houston. For the Teachers Retirement System of Texas, you're going to have hear a lot of discussion about the liability that they have. The City of Jersey Village liability is fairly small, which I was wanting to bring this to your attention. Although you do have a OPEB liability, that amount is $280,000. And so in the scheme of your total financial operation, this is a very minor liability. And just compare that to your total pension liability is $3.3 million, which again, that's a big number. But you should see some of the school districts and other entities out there, they have very large numbers. So again, neither of those numbers are concerned to me, but I did want to point it out to you. As you hear discussions about these other entities, you'll know how you compare very favorably. Over on page 36 is a statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. And this is a good snapshot of the condition of the city in terms of what took place for the year. And the general fund is presented in the far left-hand columns. Revenues came in at $13.9 million. Expenditures came in at $11.4 million. You had other operating uses of $3.2 million. That gave you a net decrease in your fund balance of $738,000 for the year. You began the year with a fund balance of $17.3 million, and you ended the year with a fund balance of $16.6 million. As you know, your fund balance is your primary indicator of financial health for a governmental entity. Most financial rating agencies are going to look at that in comparison to your operating budget to see how many days of expenditures you have on hand. They're typically going to be looking for you to have 60, 90 days minimum of fund balance on hand. And so your $16.6 million fund balance, and compared to operating expenditures, 11.4, you have well over a year worth of monies in reserve. So the city is in excellent financial condition from a fund balance perspective. Looking at over on page 43 is your two enterprise funds, the water and sewer fund and the golf course fund. Of course, obviously the golf course is always a hot topic of conversation at the city. But just reporting the results of those operations, the net operating income loss for operating income for your water and sewer fund was approximately $1 million, and the operating loss for the golf course was $513,000. That $513,000 does include a non-cash outlay depreciation of approximately $300,000, so you'd kind of have to back that number out, or would back that number out to kind of get back to your net cash loss, so to speak. That concludes my comments on the report. More than happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions from council on the CAFR? I don't have any questions. I want to make just a couple of comments. You know, just in essence, when you take a snapshot of the city, we have $104 million worth of assets, $18 million worth in a liability, leaving us at a position of a positive $86 million in net assets for the city. $16.6 million in fund balance reserve, and as we just got through discussing, that paints the city in a very healthy financial position. That financial position also goes towards our bond credit rating. Is that also as well? We source that at a AA bond rating, which is probably the highest bond rating a city of our size can aspire to. Is that correct? Overall, I'm pleased to see the result of the CAFR. We're in a very healthy financial position. I want to thank Belk Harris for your auditing services, and I want to give a special thank you to our Director of Finance, Isabel Cato, and City Manager Austin Blease for their fiscal management and their prudent management and their efficient management of our finances. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, looking for a motion on the resolution.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-10.
Second.
There's been a motion, second. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Item 2, consider resolution number 2019-11, selecting 3 contractors to complete home elevation work in relation to fiscal year 2017 FEMA flood mitigation assistance grants. Austin Blease, City Manager.
Mayor and councilors, as we discussed earlier, we just received notice of the grant to elevate 18 homes. We've gone out for RFQ for home elevation contractors to complete the work, and we've received 6 responses. We judged all of the responses on the various categories here: their qualifications, their demonstrated ability to perform the elevation services, and their ability to efficiently provide building elevation services at the project sites within Jersey Village. Specifically with that, we're looking at companies that have had experience working with all the extra FEMA guidelines and things from the state and that type of thing. So the team that reviewed these proposals included Jason Alfaro, Mark Bitts, Christian Summers, and myself. The top 3 companies are Excello, Architecture, and Planet 3. They are the ones that ranked the highest out of the 6. In discussions with our grant administrator, he recommends the city select 3 contractors to do the work for the home elevations. The top 3 have extensive experience in elevating homes, and in doing so according to the grant standards set out by FEMA and TWDB. Staff feels confident that these 3 contractors would do a good job on the project. The companies would contract directly with the homeowners to do the work. The city would not be involved in that contract. This list simply narrows it down to the companies that can do the work, making sure it stays a manageable project for the city staff and the grant administrator. The city will be hosting a meeting with the grant administrator, the selected contractors, and the homeowners on April 9th to explain the process and to allow the contractors and homeowners a chance to meet. So tonight we're recommending approval of resolution 2019-11, selecting the 3 contractors to do work under the grants received as part of the FY 2017 FEMA Flood Mitigation Assistance Grant.
All right, any questions for Austin? Fire away.
Yeah, Austin, I noticed that you're judging them on qualifications, demonstrated ability, and ability to efficiently provide building elevation services. Where are you getting that information from on each company?
The RFQ that we requested asks them to show all of those things. They provided information from previous projects that they've done, previous grants they've worked under, and that type of thing. A lot of the companies presented lots of pages of information for us to be able to try and judge their ability to do the project.
So is there any visibly going out or physically going out and viewing their work or anything?
Most of the companies submitted pictures with their RFQs to show the work that they've done, the before and after. And we've talked with the people. Our grant administrator is familiar with these people as well, so he knows some of the work that they've done as well.
Okay, I know it's a tough process, but just any talking to homeowners that actually had the work done? We
have not spoken to any homeowners. They didn't tell us names, addresses of those homes. for that. We didn't request that information.
And if it helps, I do procurement as my day job, you know, the one that actually pays as opposed to this volunteer work. And the process that Austin has described is used not just by city governments, but also in private industry. If we were going to do an engineering project, or if we were going to have like an EPC project done, engineering, procurement, construction, we would do the exact same thing, where we ask for documentation, we look at their experience, we look at past projects that have been done. It would not necessarily involve a site visit unless we were talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. So this seems like a perfectly reasonable process.
Also, and I do want to bring up the point that there will be a meeting with the selected contractors, the grant administrator, and the homeowners before any construction work is done.
I was just going to mention, I do like that the meeting on the 9th sounds like it'll be a collaborative meeting where the homeowners themselves will be able to speak to these top 3 contractors and come up with their own opinions on all of them and move forward without the city's involvement so much in the contract. But I think that was a smart move.
Right, and it'll be a good chance for the homeowners. They can ask a lot of questions. They can find addresses and go out and actually look at them, because the homeowners are going to be the ones that select the contractor that they work with. It'll be a great meeting for the homeowners, for the city, and everybody involved. And the public, if they want to come and see what this process is like for future grant rounds too, they're welcome to do that as well.
Austin, so you've selected 3 contractors to present to homeowners. At that point, will the projects be divided evenly, or will it be based on the homeowner selection of one of the 3?
It'll be based upon the homeowner selection.
So theoretically, it could be one company doing all of them, or it could be 3 companies doing part of them.
Correct.
Actually, Andrew kind of brought that. I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood that homeowners get to decide whether or not they want to continue through this, and they get to decide who the contractor is. We get to pick the 3, but ultimately the homeowner gets to decide.
Any other questions for Austin? All right, looking for a motion on the resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-11.
Second, do we need to name the 3 contractors?
So we have, so staff has recommended.
They're named in the resolution.
So it's already in the resolution?
Correct.
So there has been a motion. Gary, were you about to second?
Yeah, second.
Okay. There's been a motion and second. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Item 3, consider ordinance number 2019-06, amending the Jersey Village Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Article 4, Division 2, Section 2-142, to amend the schedule of fees related to miscellaneous services and add a new subsection K concerning park fees. Jason Alfaro, Director of Parks and Recreation.
Mayor and councilors, good evening. Over the past year, we have noticed an increase in rental requests for facilities and play areas throughout the park system. Staff has been approached by individuals wanting to rent the multipurpose fields at Clark Henry Park, the gazebos at Carroll Fox and Philippine Park. Open space requests have also been made, and other fitness and wellness classes have made similar requests. With this increase in demand for park use, we have looked at our park fees and noticed areas that need to be adjusted. The department recently conducted an online survey for residents asking them what type of recreational activities they'd like to see in the community. We had a very large response of people wanting more sports activities and leagues. So with this survey information and discussions with our rec and events coordinator, we'd like to offer swim lessons at the pool this year. Since some of our lifeguards will now be water safety instructor certified, we'll be able to conduct in-house swim lessons for the community. And after reviewing the fee schedule for the pool, we will need to add classes and other water activities to the schedule and update our private party rental fee and procedures. So we've reviewed other park and recreation agency rates in the area and also looked at private organizations like the YMCA to make sure that we were comparable when adjusting our park fees. Staff recommends that council approve ordinance 2019-06 as presented.
All right, thank you, Jason. Any questions?
Jason, this was.
Go ahead.
This was on our agenda last month. There was some discussion. What changes came about over the past 30 days?
We had taken a really big look at all of our fees. We didn't really change much from last time. I think one of the mentions was about the aerobics versus the open swim. And so the aerobics is a little more specific. It's more of a program base, more of a class, so versus the open swim passes. So with the aerobics, we would need to bring in more lifeguards. We typically have the aerobics, prior to the open swim, which creates a little more expenditures for us.
One of the questions about the water aerobics was does that include, if a resident purchases a aerobic season pass, does that include open swim or not?
That does not. It would be specific to the aerobics class. The aerobics typically has about 50 or so classes throughout the entire summer season, so that would allow individuals that obtain the aerobics pass to go ahead and attend one of 50 of those classes, if not more.
All right, those repeat classes, that breaks down like $1 a class. Is it typical for a person to show up for all 50 or 45 of the 50?
No, not typically. I'd say half to 3/4 if you're lucky. I think we have some dedicated folks who might catch every single one of them, but it's going to be far and few between.
And I did get some clarification from Jason because I brought that issue up the last time. The open pass and the aerobics pass are completely exclusive to one another, meaning that if you buy one, it doesn't give you any access to the other. So the pricing makes more sense in light of that and in light of the demands that each put on the staff and in terms of costs.
Jason, on the rental of the pool, the rental fee, the resident rental fee has gone up from $50 to $225, non-resident from $150 to $300. I'm just wondering why so harsh on the residents.
Yeah, so previously what has happened is the resident would come and rent the pool from the city, and then they would pay the guards on site. And we're trying to do away with that. What we're wanting to do is have a pool manager there during the pool rental, as well as the amount of lifeguards that we have staff, which is kind of predetermined here with 3. So that $225, it is an increase, but it also includes staff time as well as prep time.
Okay, what about people that have put a deposit down already this year? I noticed that when we vote on this, if we pass it, that it's effective immediately. So they put the deposit down under last year's fees or current fees, and now the fee is going to change on them?
We don't have anybody who has rented out the facility or put down a deposit this many months out. We do have different organizations like the fire department, for instance, who utilizes the pool for one of their annual events, and nothing would change with any of that.
I happen to know somebody that has a deposit down.
It's okay. What I would say to that is that whatever we have currently, if there's somebody who had already put a deposit down for whatever reason, that would be grandfathered in, if you will. All of this would take into effect with everybody starting as soon as it's approved.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, looking for a motion on the ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2019-06.
A second.
There's been a motion and second. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, opposed, any abstentions, motion carries. Item 4, consider ordinance number 2019-07, amending the golf course fund budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2018 and ending September 30th, 2019 by increasing line item 11-82-4599 miscellaneous equipment in the amount of $22,000 and decreasing line item 11-82-3526 landscaping materials in the amount of $22,000. Jason Alfaro, Director of Parks and Recreation.
All right. This is a budget transfer request. A little bit of background. The Golf Course Maintenance Division has historically contracted all of our aeration for the greens, fairways, and the tees. Historically, we budgeted $35,000 for this contracted service. We have had instances in the past where the golf course was not able to be aerated due to the weather, or aeration has been delayed due to the contractor's schedule. Due partly to this reason, the golf course superintendent has stated that this job duty, staff can take this on if properly equipped. We are requesting that council consider move $22,000 of the $35,000 that was allotted for the contract of the aeration from 823536 landscaping materials account to the miscellaneous equipment account 824599 for the purchase of ground maintenance equipment. The first piece of equipment that we're proposing to purchase is an aerator machine. This machine will allow us to aerate the service without disrupting play. Our staff would also be able to select the appropriate time to aerate and have this completed in-house. The second piece of equipment we're wanting to purchase is a Greens King 4. The addition of this piece of equipment will allow us to stay ahead of the golfers on a daily and weekly basis and also allow staff to catch up after prolonged rain events. The golf course staff will be adding more tees to the course to help increase play and give amateur and junior players a better experience on the course, and this piece of equipment will be able to reduce maintenance time significantly. I do have Richard Flores here, the golf course superintendent, if y'all have any questions for him or I.
Of the $35,000 we spent on contracted service, is there any service you're not going to be able to provide by buying your own equipment?
No, sir.
And then the follow-up question is, and you may have answered this, Jason, if we do allocate the $22,000 and we're doing it ourselves, does that mean we won't have to do the $35,000 expenditure in subsequent budgets?
Yes, sir. What we would need an additional piece of machinery that we would probably come back to council for during the budget year, next budget year. But the $35,000 would not need to be in there. We could basically take that and then use it for equipment or VERP, or vehicle equipment replacement program.
I will say, usually the concern that always comes up when someone wants to bring something in-house rather than doing it outsourcing is a question of whether or not there's the expertise or the capability in-house aside from the equipment. But I will say that in the time that I've been out on the course or as the liaison to the Golf Course Advisory Committee, Richard and his staff have shown an ability to be able to get a lot of things done on the course that have been contracted out in the past. They've I think, are pretty close to finishing the first phase of changing out all of the sand traps with the new sand. I've been out there. It looks fantastic, even despite the weather challenges. So I would imagine aeration would probably not pose much of a challenge compared to that project. So I have no worries about that from my side.
All right, any comments or questions for Jason? All right, looking for a motion on the ordinance.
I move we accept ordinance 2019-07.
I'll second that.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Is there any additional conversation? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Item 5, discuss and take appropriate action concerning the preferred procedure and steps to be used for the fill the vacancy created on City Council once the May 4th, 2019 election becomes final. Lori Cootie, City Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Mitchum has submitted his application for a place on the May 4 ballot for the position of mayor. Given that there's no other applicants who have submitted for this position, Councilmember Mitchum is running unopposed. Accordingly, once he takes the oath as mayor on May the 13th, he will automatically resign his position as Councilmember Place 1, and it will create a vacancy. The city charter provides that vacancies on the council arising from any cause shall be filled by a vote of the council. There are no further guidelines. However, this instance did occur back in 2015 when Mayor Ray ran unopposed and resigned his seat as Councilmember Place 1 upon taking the oath of mayor. At that time, the following steps were taken. During the March 2015 City Council meeting, Council directed that an ad be placed in the JV Star and on the city website seeking applicants to fill the vacancy. There was also a special meeting was scheduled to receive the presentations from interested applicants and make the appointment. And the oath of office for the appointee was taken as part of the swearing-in ceremony of the elected officials after the canvass. Should council desire to take the same steps as was taken in 2015, the following direction for staff is needed. We need to have the approval of the suggested JV Star article that was included in the packet. We need to set a deadline for applications, and we need to select a date to hold the special meeting. Suggested dates for these are the applications could be due May 1 with the special session on May 6, or applications could be due on May 6 with a special session on May 9. The suggested dates of May 1 and May 6 would be in line with the timeline that we followed back in 2015. And as a result of that, that's the dates that I recommend that council chooses should they decide to take these steps.
Okay, thank you, Lori. So the items we have before us is we've got to determine what the deadline for the application is and the date for the special session, as well as approving the suggested JV Star article. So everybody break out their calendars and let's make some recommendations on when we want to have the applications due by and when we want to have the special session by. James.
Lori, did I read this wrong? There was also the option of, instead of a special session, doing this at the May regular session?
We could do the appointment at the May regular session. It just, the last time they did do it prior to, and it made it a little bit easier because you're doing the installation and you won't know who it is. They can't bring their family up to take their oath and see that. So they made those plans prior to.
Okay, well then I suggest May 1st and May 6th.
Okay, I've got one recommendation for applications due on May 1st with a special session on May 6th. Any comments about that? Any comments to the contrary? Everybody's looking at their iPhones right now.
The regular session that month is on the 20th, right?
We moved it to the 13th.
That's right, okay. I'm really open to either one, so don't hinge it on me.
Anybody else got an issue with the May 1st and the May 6th?
I'm good with that.
Gary, what about you over there?
I'm good with it.
Okay. So I'm hearing a consensus for applications due on May 1st with a special session on May 6th. There's also the suggested JV Star article. Does anybody see any issue with that?
I would like to include, and I know that Austin's going to do this anyway, but just to mention, not only a JV Star article, but the city has social media accounts on Nextdoor and Facebook. And
We're setting a time deadline of noon on May 1st, according to the JV Star article.
Yes.
Okay, anything else? Looking okay, so I'm looking, so it looks like we've made a consensus on the article, we've got a consensus on the application date, the special session date. Looking for a motion, there's a motion. I need somebody to fill in the blanks.
To fill the vacancy of City Council Place 1, I move to approve the suggested JV Star article and postings on existing city social media accounts. Set the deadline of May 1st, 2019 at noon to receive applications from interested applicants, and set the date of May 6th, 2019 at 6 p.m. for a special meeting to receive applicant presentations and make the appointment.
I'll second.
There's been a motion second. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, opposed, and the abstentions, motion carries. And that will conclude City Council this evening. Thank you very much, everybody, for your attention. No. Item 6, consider resolution number 2019-12, authorizing the city manager to enter into a Chapter 380 economic development agreement between the city and the Collaborate Special Projects, LLC, for commercial development on approximately 43 acres of land on the south side of Highway 290 adjacent to Jones Road. City Manager Austin Blease.
Mayor, councilors, citizens, it's an honor to stand before you tonight. In the 2 years that I've been here, this marks my 2-year mark here in the city of Jersey Village. There's been 2 issues that have been on the forefront of everything we've done. One being flood mitigation. We've received a grant. We're moving forward with that. And 2 is the development on the other side of 290 on Jones Road. And tonight, we're excited to announce what we have moving forward. We'd like to play a short video, and then the developer will make a few comments.
I grew up in this neighborhood. I've seen it transition. I've seen it evolve. I've seen its growing needs. We're growing a dynamic community. And I'm excited that as mayor, I'm able to do something special for this community. Today, I'm excited to announce that our efforts have paid off. The City of Jersey Village is entering into a game-changing master development agreement with our new development partners, Collaborate. This has been a culmination of several months of work between your city staff, your city council, and our new development partners. Village Center is going to be a high-density, mixed-use development right here in Jersey Village on Jones Road. It's going to be an exciting new development for residential, entertainment, retail, and hospitality. It's going to be something that our community needs and has longed for and that we frankly deserve. It's going to be ours. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind place that's going to transform Jersey Village. It's going to be a place of sales tax growth, property tax growth. It's going to be a place of job growth. It'll truly be a place to live, work, play, and learn. As a lifelong resident of Jersey Village, I'm excited to share the updates and progress about Village Center. Jersey Village is a crown jewel right here in Northwest Harris County. This is going to be a beautiful amenity befitting the great people of this city and the greater Northwest Harris County. I want to thank everybody who was involved in the process, from our city council, our city staff, the great citizens of Jersey Village, and I'm excited about the future of Jersey Village.
And that's what we call an Academy Award-winning presentation right there.
Mayor and councilors, if you don't mind, I'd like to turn it over to Saul Valentine with Collaborate, our partner in this development process.
By all means. This is Saul Valentine. He's with Collaborate Special Projects. He's going to be our developer down in Jones Road. Saul?
I'm definitely going to try to follow that video. But thank you all so much for having me this evening. I cannot express the excitement of the Collaborate Group and the partnering that we have with the City of Jersey Village. We have gotten here with many months of work and diligent alignment of our vision with yours. And with that, what I want to say, we have a few slides that will give you an idea of how we got here and where we're going. The 4 words that we use to create where we're going to go and align ourselves with the City of Jersey Village is live, learn, work, and play. That's how we envision that we're going to be moving forward with this development. Village Center is what we envision to be a new economic area of development for the residents, workers, and many people from the surrounding area. We're going to be creating a development in 43 acres that is going to be adjacent to 290 and Jones Road, and obviously the Beltway and 290. We're very excited about the proximity and the opportunities that are there. As you will see on the lower left-hand corner, that is a illustration purpose site map of what we believe is going into the development today. The development is going to have high-end multifamily. It's going to have retail to support that development of multifamily. It's going to have elegant upscale hotel as well that is going to be there. It's going to have water features. What we're looking to do is to create an environment for the neighborhood and for the citizens of this area to go and enjoy spaces of gathering with family and friends. Like I mentioned, it's going to be white sidewalks and pedestrian spaces, lighting, water features, green spaces and parks and trails that is going to be culminating within the city of Jersey Village. We're looking to have this development done and established from today within the next 36 to 48 months, targeting obviously the lower end of this timeline. We have a very, very established team that is focused on bringing all the different experiences that they've had throughout all the different developments into what we are going to call Village Center. Everything focused from organizations, community-centric environments. A little bit about us, we've been involved in everything from development with education, which is going to be a component of this development as well, multifamily, retail, and most important, the family-centric neighborhood environment. I'm going to leave you with this because we believe that this is what shows how we align with the vision of the city of Jersey Village. This right here allows us to say, this is where we're going to come together and gather and have a development that collaborate the city of Jersey Village feels proud to call home. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Saul. Okay, council, any questions for Saul or Austin?
Saul, people will question why that location? Why are you committed to develop that particular area versus somewhere else?
Actually, if you really think about the area in Houston, 45 north and south have both developments like these. I-10 has development like this perhaps 8-9 miles away from here. 288 has developments like this, and so does 59. If you really think about it, the major thoroughfare of 290 that just got completed doesn't have a development like this, and the opportunity that Jersey Village had and the vision that Jersey Village had brought this to bear. So if you really think about it, there is absolutely, it's serving a need that it's not being served today.
At the beginning of the process, during the evaluation period, I know that you conducted a feasibility study. Can you talk a little bit about that and
yes,
the justification?
The development study, we started by just trying to figure out, is there actually a need? We believe that there's a need, but is there actually a need, and the community would support that? So the development study focused in the high-end residential, focused on retail, not apparel retail, but retail to support the community and an environment that is conducive of this neighborhood. And also the hotel, upscale hotel, was areas and office environment were areas that were actually came up of high needs in the area. And we finished the market research probably about 6 months ago or so, and that was one of the first things before we actually embarked into really believing if there was an opportunity.
Some people might express concern about how this development would affect flooding. And I noticed that one of the big parts of that map there was a drainage feature.
That's correct.
Can you talk a little bit about the efforts that your firm will go through in order to ensure that flooding is not an issue from this development?
Yes. The area is already designed that way. It has been mitigated for that purpose. So we have a team of engineers that is focused completely on not only making sure that we don't have issues while the development, but that we don't create any additional issues. So we have a team focused on that specific area. And that was one of the areas that we looked into the civil engineering from the beginning.
The development calls for a lot of different types of retail. I know you're probably not at liberty to discuss the particular tenants, but I know that you're talking to tenants who we will all recognize. What's a time frame for that announcement of tenants for the development?
We're working diligently as late as today at noon with the different people. So we're looking to have a list of potential tenants that are going to be taking into effect probably sometime this summer.
Saul, earlier we had heard comments about how other areas of the city have helped the city net profit and help us take care of the residential area of the neighborhood. Obviously, this development, do you feel that this is going to help spark some changes on the south side of 290?
Absolutely. We believe that this is going to create an economic engine on the other side that is going to allow to create not only more revenue and taxes for the different people involved, but also jobs in the area. So we're very excited of the different set of skills and the different opportunities for revenue generation that this is going to bring in the area, specifically on that side.
Well, then I'll go ahead and throw out a couple things as well. I've got some comments, not really any questions, Saul, but you know, when Curtis Haverty spoke earlier this evening, he talked about where we started with this, and I was a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission when this developed, when we developed the form-based codes, and to see where we've come from then to now is it's truly amazing. It's very heartwarming. It's definitely a credit to the members of the community, our city staff, and our city council. And I'm really excited about the future potential of this, and it means a lot to a lot of us. And one of the things we struggled with was trying to find a developer that shared our vision and had the same opinion of Jersey Village. And with Collaborate, we did. And that what you see from the developer is they've embraced our vision, and they've embraced the amount of pride that we have in our community as well. And so tonight we have Resolution 2019-12 before us, and it will be to enter into a first of a series of agreements to develop our own mixed-use, high-density development here in Jersey Village. The agreement's a culmination of many months of work, of dedication and vision. Just a couple of key things on the resolution before us and the key elements of the agreement. The City of Jersey Village will be entering into a Chapter 380 agreement with our new development partners, Collaborate Special Projects, LLC. In the agreement, Collaborate will purchase the 23 acres from Jersey Village that the city purchased last year. Additionally, the city will assign its option to Collaborate on the additional property on Jones Road. The City of Jersey Village will provide capped sales tax and hotel occupancy tax rebates, but not ad valorem property taxes. The city will also retain its full share of crime control and prevention funds, which will fund law enforcement activities. This is a fantastic agreement that benefits the city, benefits the developer, and benefits the community as a whole, and I'm very, very excited about what we've developed. This new Village Center is going to be a fantastic space for new retail, restaurants, entertainment, residential, hospitality, and a new town center with a city hall that we can all be proud of for us here in Jersey Village. As I said in the video, I want to thank everyone's vision. I want to thank their support and efforts. I want to say a couple of thank yous to our staff and city council. I want to say a special thanks to the members of my work group, Andrew Mitchum and Greg Holden. You guys put in a lot of work, and we couldn't have done it without you, so thank you very much for your work, gentlemen. You guys are absolutely instrumental. And I want to say a very special thanks to my partner in this effort, our city manager, Austin Blease. We had a city manager who came in, fell in love with our community, and fell in love with the vision we have for this community, and I couldn't have done it without you as well, so thank you very much, Mr. City Manager. Fortune favors the bold, and I want to thank everyone for traveling down this daring path with me, and I enthusiastically recommend approving this resolution, so I'm looking for a motion on the resolution at this time.
Move we accept Resolution 2019-12.
I'll second.
There's been a motion second. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, opposed, any abstentions, motion carries. We do have a executive session on the agenda this evening, Mr. City Manager. I don't think we have a call for an executive session this evening.
No, sir, we are good.
That'll actually move us down to council and comments, starting with Councilman Gary Wubenhorst.
The only thing I want to say is, I just want to recognize the amount of effort that the city staff has put in the last few months with the CAFR, the budget spreadsheets for working on the tax relief, and of course with the Jersey Crossing project. So it's just amazing what you've gotten done.
I'd agree. The staff's ability to concurrently manage some of these major projects has been fabulous. I want to mention that the 5-6 of us up here really can't take full credit for this. This has been a small decisions made by previous councils that have allowed us to be in the position to take this decision. And I'm thankful that we took a risk and God provided a wonderful developer that agreed with our vision. And that's it.
Wow. Well, I'm going to be the next mayor and have to follow in your footsteps. And I don't know how that's going to work, but I want to thank you for all your hard work. You did a really good job. I want to thank Austin. I think I don't even know if the lights were on in your new house when you started to work on this project, but we were in mediation with Greg and you and me and Justin trying to figure out what we're going to do with this property, and Greg came up with the idea of the option, which was a great move. And then you went right to work to make a spreadsheet of developers and go out and try to find somebody. And Justin, you did a very good job in finding Saul. It's going to be a great partnership, and I'm very happy to have been involved in the meetings with you guys and your team for the last few months. It's been a lot of meetings, a lot of work, but it was really cool to see all of our visions line up for what we want here. So want to thank everyone for just being, fortune favors the bold, and good job everybody for sticking it out. So way to go.
First of all, Austin, I'd like to congratulate you on your grant funding. We decided to build a dog park, and the public uproar was amazing. You get $4 million worth of grants and crickets. So congratulations on your efforts. Without you, without your efforts, without your dedication, that wouldn't happen. So I think people need to recognize your efforts. Mayor, I think I kind of view this project with Collaborate as kind of your vision. I think you kind of initiated it. You had that vision. You found the developer, which was tremendous. And congratulations on how far we've gotten so far. This is going to be a $145 million project, which is unprecedented for a city of our size. And I think you and Austin and the rest of council should be proud of this accomplishment. Now, Saul's got a lot of work to do, so, but it's been a tremendous process. I think that's it. There's a lot of information in the 380 agreement. There's a lot of information that's coming. So if the public will be patient, all your questions will be answered as contracts are executed, as retailers are found, as tenants are signed. So the information is forthcoming, and just kind of be patient with us as we go through the process. Thank you.
It is hard to see things the way they could be. It's very easy to see the way things were, the way they've always been, and to assume that that's the way they'll always be. And there's one thing that's always required in order to be able to see past what is and to see what could be, and that's vision. And I want to thank everyone on this council and for councils past for a long time back to have the vision to see more than an empty piece of land out on Jones Road, or even before there was a Jones Road where it is now. I want to congratulate all of the city staff for being dedicated and sharing our vision and being committed to it and spending so many hours on this project. But most of all, I want to thank the citizens of Jersey Village, because if you didn't share in our vision and if you didn't have the same sort of aspirations that we have advocated for, none of us would be up here, literally. And I want to thank all of you for believing in this enough to stick with us during this and to support it. And the fact that you came out here tonight and so enthusiastically reacted as you did to the end product of what's been a lot of work shows that this is not just the vision of the people sitting up here. This vision belongs to everyone. And we are happy to finally be able to share it with all of you.
The mini mayor was giving me thumbs up over there. Wave mini mayor. Yeah, we've got the family in tow here. This is a big night. This is an exciting night for our community. Our community is family. Everybody here is family. Everybody in this neighborhood is family. I'm just so thankful and happy of all we've been able to accomplish. I'm just very thankful that we've had the ability to serve, and we look forward to continuing to serve this community. I want to thank, again, everybody on council, staff, friends, neighbors, residents, our entire Jersey Village community. This has been a great night, and we're going to have many great nights in the future. Thank you very much for your attendance. Meeting adjourned.